Hi boys and girls, today we're going to create circles using Illustrator. If you don't have this icon, you can go to your Finder under Applications and Adobe Illustrator. Just going to double click this icon. You're going to have to go to File, New to create a new page. My new page is already set up. You just want to make sure that this says inches before you do anything else, and type in the name S1 and then your name and grade. And the width is going to be 11 and the height is going to be 8.5 in inches. Press OK. So now I'm going to move this over and put this away and go to my BMS Room 417 drive. In Handouts, there's a picture of a bunch of shapes. We're going to drag that in. Okay, so this is Illustrator. You'll notice that it looks very similar to Photoshop. It's made by the same people. These are the tools. This is the options area. First thing we're going to use is the Move or Selection tool, which is both the same tool in this program, to stretch out our image just as if we're using Command-T, but no Command-T necessary in Illustrator. This is the Pen tool. Pen tool drops what's called an anchor point. So you're going to see a point drop when you click and release. Every time you click and release, after that it'll create a line between those anchor points. And you'll see that you are able to create polygons, which are shapes with sides. One thing you'll notice when I created that, when I clicked that last line in my polygon, a circle came up. That little circle means that we're sealing the shape. It's important to do that or it will not allow you to move on to the next shape. Also, notice that I skipped the circle because that line has no shapes. That shape has no lines or sides. So therefore, I'm going to have to show you how to do that differently. So here I purposely did not seal my triangle just to show you what will happen when we try and not seal something. You'll see that the pen tool believes that I did not finish my shape and it's trying to continue my shape. So that's a problem. I'm going to Command-Z that because the eraser tool in this program is very different and we're better off selecting things and deleting them or Command-Zing until we're back before the mistake to get rid of them. Alright, so the last thing I want to show you is how to create a circle. But before I do that, I want to quickly go and tell you what this area is about. This is just like our colored area in Photoshop, except that this is called our fill, and this is called our stroke. You'll also find them up here. If you want to modify either one of those, you could do it at either place. When you have something selected with the selection tool, it's the only way to modify it. So you could change things like the color of the fill here. I'm going to make it have no fill for now. And the color of the stroke here. I'm going to make the stroke blue for now. I could also change it if I wanted to, the thickness right there. Alright, so for this one, I'm going to change the color to black and the fill to white, which is the default mechanism for this. If I click off of it, you'll see that it has a black outline. The problem with that is when you're doing your other shapes, let me Command-C that and start from here so you could see a good example. When I start doing my other polygon shapes, which are shapes with sides, you'll see that when I get to a certain point, I can't see where to go. That's because the fill is blocking me. If I make the fill nothing temporarily, I'm able to complete the shape and seal it up, and that's when I can give it a color. However, you can see that I did kind of a poor job on that shape, so I'm going to make it clear again by clicking this again and clicking the red slash, and then use my white arrow, which is also called my direct selection tool, to move the anchor points. This is way better than a pen and pencil because I don't have to erase. I can just use my white selection tool, my direct selection tool, to allow me to move the anchor points so that things are neater. And that way I don't have to redo something, I can just fix it as I go. Alright, so let's bring the color back on that. And there you go, a much more neat version of my X. So I wanted to show you circles, which are completely different. For a circle, you have to imagine that this is a clock face, and you're going to leave anchor points at specific destinations. For example, my first one, I'm going to click and release at 12 o'clock, which is the same as if I started a square, except on the square I would have done it on a corner. So here I'm doing it at 12 o'clock, and at 9 o'clock I'm going to click, but I'm not going to release. You can see it makes a straight line just like usual, and if I start dragging, it allows me to make a curve. At first the curve might go crazy and you might be like, oh my god, what do I do? So instead, you want to just move your hand very slowly and look for it to match the curve and then release it. Whenever you're making curves in Illustrator, you should shut off the anchor points as you go. So I'm going to click another one at 6 o'clock, drag it out, shut off the anchor point by looking for that upside down V, by the way, which shows up next to my tool. And then do it again until I seal the shape. So it's again at 9 o'clock, and then back to 12 where I see my circle, drag it out, and I have a complete shape. So all of my curves work the same way. If ever I try and make a curve that I can't match, it's because I brought the second anchor point too far. So you may have to moderate where you put or change where you put your anchor points. So I just Command Z if I make that mistake. Now the fill is getting in the way here, so I'm just going to reverse this. I'm going to reverse this so that my fill becomes my stroke and my stroke becomes my fill. Click off my anchor point, and that one's done. Reverse them again to make the fill the color and the stroke invisible. Thanks for watching.